Hey guys, here we are. This is Bashak. I'm a yoga therapist and teacher and an engineer. Welcome.
Hi, guys, this is Kate, and we is a podcast about learning, awakening, and empowerment, where spirituality and wisdom guides you to live with clarity, purpose, and inner strength. Welcome.
Hello. So today we are talking about a quite deep topic. It's about relationships, particularly yoga of intimate relationships.
Yes, and that can be, we were talking about this a little bit in preparation, that can be your partnership with someone and your intimate partner, or the other most intimate relationship is family members. So those two parts of one's lives.
Yeah, because we talked about this, right, Kate? Like there's different relationships. There's the work relationships, societal relationships, friendships. But we both felt that they are a little bit more. They are not as intimate. They could be, of course, but it's easier to mask yourself and show the self that you want to show. But when it comes to intimate relationships, romantic relationships, partnerships, and family, it's really, really not easy to hide.
It's not because they're both, well, hopefully there's a longevity. And during that time, people see who you really are because you can't keep that mask up, So
Yeah.
yeah,
And in yoga, we understand relationships are very important. Who do you align yourself with is very important to experience life, to experience growth, or vice versa. Relationships are the area where we develop spiritually as well.
absolutely. And then if you think about it, with your family, one could say you don't really choose your family, although in the yoga we say we do, but
Yeah.
and we'll talk about that. I think we mentioned that before, but I think people find that a very interesting thing about yoga, how the thought is in yoga that we decide or we choose who our family is because we have to work out that karma with that family. That's kind of an
Yes.
interesting thing. So, but our intimate partnerships, we certainly do choose or draw towards us. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even though we can't say predestined things, but yeah, and I believe in that. But yes, you still have the choice,
yes.
right? I mean, you still, I feel choose people you have a karma, past karma to work through. But yeah, there are options. You can still choose.
Could I
What?
ask you this question? This is
Yeah.
not one of our questions we had, but I was just wondering when you made your choice to marry or be in a long-term relationship, is this okay if I ask you this? And
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can answer it as you see fit. Was it a difficult choice? Did you have to struggle with it? Was it an immediate choice? Was it a slow burn? What made you finally say yes to this?
I think it's the value conversation. At that stage of my life, I was very connected to the value that I put out for a relationship. The most important thing for me was marrying someone or being with someone who was on a spiritual path because I was. And I knew that was a really important part of a relationship. And if I was with someone who wasn't interested in learning, growing, and expressing that part, was going not going to be easy for me. So in that way, my husband and I aligned from the get-go with that. And that made it really much easier. And, again, I can be honest here. I was dating at the beginning with two people at the same time for just like a couple of dates as I was meeting people. And that was the main factor of me saying, I'm going to explore with this person because this person and I align in this like spiritual ideas.
Yeah, that's
How
amazing.
about you?
Um, well, well, you see, I don't think I was so intentional of saying this quality, you know. It was much more of a felt thing for me, you know, and which I hadn't specified in words. And so for me, when I think back, it was a sense of knowing that I was really drawn to this person, but I think I had fear around surrendering to that, you know,
Mm.
fear to surrendering, thinking that perhaps maybe I will lose my identity, maybe I will lose myself in this, you know, all these things that I had a little fear around. So it was a big step for me to say, I'm going to go through with this. Did you have fear?
No. I
See,
don't, yeah,
that's so
I did
interesting.
not have fear because, I truly believe it, nothing is forever. And you can only operate from now, right? You don't know what the future is going to bring. And I feel again, this is interesting though, you brought up about trust and surrender. I feel I also made a safe choice in the sense that we were very similar about our need for independency and the space that we needed both. And each other were able to give that space to us. Like it wasn't a clingy relationship, it still isn't. I
Yes.
mean, in some ways, yeah, little bits in some ways, but generally, yeah, that was a good alignment also, which that we
Yes.
both could be free in the, you know, in who we are and how to
Yes.
express ourselves. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So I
So,
wanted to say, relationships are difficult, intimate relationships, because, we talk about this, people are your mirror, and your intimate partner is definitely your mirror, right? Basically, like whatever you plant is what you reap in the relationship, pretty much. And we have this inner critique constantly, right? It loves to, externalize and judge others and point out their mistakes. And you may even say that you do that out of love, right? But if you look, that's what comes from it. Like if I look at that, and I realize that everything that you judge in others reflect your judgment of yourself.
yes.
That's where the mirroring comes from.
Yes.
And I read this, I really loved it somewhere. It said, you don't need to change anybody, parenthesis yourself. You just need to love you and them,
Yeah.
right? So it's interchangeable because this them and you, it is, especially in this close relationship, that is kind of a holistic way of approaching it. Whatever you are expecting from somebody else is really expectation of yourself.
Oh, right. Right.
So in that sense, most intimate relationship, maybe not with another person, but really with yourself.
Right. And if that relationship isn't clear, that relationship with yourself and loving towards yourself, how can you possibly be clear and loving with someone else, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're so right. Like, because when you approach a relationship out of critic judgment, where somebody else have to be, how they need to be, then you are like absorbing the mind in fault finding rather than seeing divinity, right? And that's for yourself too, because whatever you say to yourself is also, either distracting or loving.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you can practice that, right? Being with yourself in that loving way is seeing divinity within yourself, then mind is more pure.
Yes.
And then, when you then approach others in that way, then I feel the others feel valued. And that to me becomes the steps of spiritual relationship,
This
which
is a
is the
very good
highest
point.
form.
Yeah, and I think perhaps, I mean, it's different, of course, for everyone, but perhaps it's harder to do that with family
Ah,
relationships, right? Than it is with your chosen partner, because somehow you give that chosen partner maybe a little bit more leeway and, forgiveness. But with your family, things are so entrenched, it can be really hard to undo that and see it in a different way. Have you had that
I
experience?
mean, that's the whole saying goes, if you think you're enlightened, go spend time with your family,
Exactly. Yeah.
right?
Yes.
But I think as you're on a path of spiritual path, or find self-awareness path, I think the family is the perfect opportunity to embrace flexibility,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
To just look at moment by moment. If you're operating from judgment, or are you open to really each moment and whatever each moment is presenting, right? From not a conditioned patterns, but from more of an open-minded, more of an inquiring, not knowing place.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It's very difficult because, speaking of triggers and things, like families can have, and can be even just the way your sibling or your parent or says something, can trigger things. And that's the biggest thing when but that's actually what's good about, I didn't finish my sentence, but what's good about texting these days and email, it gives you a chance to take a breath, right? Because it's
Yes.
really good. Someone might text something and then you take a second and go, okay, I'm just reacting now because my brother always phrases it that way and it drives me crazy, but I know he doesn't mean it and I know he, is doing what he does best and I know I'm probably annoying him, I'm just making this up, but it's stepping back and allowing space between those relationships where then this new relationship has room to actually grow.
Yeah, what you said is very important, I think. Can we allow space to change our pattern in a way that, rather than being defensive all the time or knowing all the time what other person is thinking, because we can't.
No.
Can we just assume everybody is innocent,
Yes.
right? And if we approach from that way, it's like an open-hearted way, right?
Yeah.
How to start a new chapter with somebody when you have had this like long-term relationship, whether it's a partner, whether it's a family member. The key is letting go of the past, right? And you mentioned breath. This is so beautiful. Like, if you think about your breath pattern, you let go of the in-breath in the outer breath.
Yeah.
Breath by breath, you inhale.
Yeah.
As you exhale, you let go of that breath.
Right.
So can you similarly let go of the old stories, attachments, patterns, moment by moment?
Yeah. I don't know who said this. Maybe it was Yogi Charu. Maybe I was reading about something tantric philosophy, but this idea that every time you breathe out, it's like you die because your
Yeah,
last.
it's the life itself is
Yes,
breath.
and every time you breathe in, it's your first breath. Can you think of life, your first breath, your last breath, every single one? If you actually meditate on that, it kind of blows your mind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because every moment there is an action and a letting go. Every moment.
Yeah.
You're right. Next moment, if you didn't breathe, there would be no life,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So every breath is a life.
Yeah.
So can I also then implant that into my everyday living? Can
Yes.
I just moment by moment be fresh, be alive?
Yeah.
Right? So the relationships in that sense, what we are saying is, I think, is has nothing to do with the other person. There is no perfect person out there. That's about you again.
Yeah.
Life comes from you. So your relationships, the dynamics also comes from you. So how about we take that responsibility rather than putting that to somebody else?
Exactly. I mean, I think it's a wonderful way of expressing it. But then I want to ask you, where does this thing called love fit into that? Because well, that's what we're really talking about, right? Because when we talk about intimate relationships, we're talking about love with the small L, love, perhaps. But
Yeah.
so how does that fit into this space? What do you
So
think?
secret of love.
Yes.
I feel
Secret of love.
you have to give more than you take, because more that you give, more that you receive, because everybody is your mirror, on and on and on. So it starts with you. You decide, I'm going to be loving first. You don't wait to be loved,
Yeah.
because that's that chain reaction. I'm going to read a little quote that I love so much, and I sometimes repeat this in retreats and stuff. It says, I don't remember who put this on, but it's somebody else. It's not me saying this.
Mhm.
Love is not a matter of getting what you want. Quite the contrary. The insistence on always being satisfied, on always being fulfilled, makes love impossible. To love, you have to climb out of the cradle where everything is about getting and grow up to the maturity of giving without concern for getting anything special in return.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
That's very, very true. You don't know who said that? You don't know where
I
you got that
don't.
from?
I
No,
don't. I
no.
should research, but
Yeah.
I love this so much because I think that's the essence of love. Love has to come from you.
And I think you're absolutely right. That word fulfillment, like people always think, well, once I have that perfect relationship, I will feel fulfilled. But that person is never gonna, if you have an empty space in you, you have to fill that. No one's gonna fill that for you,
Well,
right?
in Bhakti Yoga, we call that this empty big hole in the heart is the hole that nobody can fill because it's a God-shaped hole. So that's where the spirituality comes to
Yes.
play.
Yes.
But we are in this world. That's another topic.
Yes.
That we can talk about
Yes.
forever. But we're talking about these material relationships in this dimension, and I feel that that is something that we have to give energy to. You know, a lot of people say, oh, relationships are hard. Of course, they are hard. Everything in life that is something requires energy, requires work,
Yes.
really. We call sacrifice even in
Yes.
yoga,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So that's why it's just, yes, this is the most important work that you need to do in life. Not going to some office and doing some your daily chores. People put so much importance to that.
Yeah.
Well, how about putting that same attention and importance into your personal relationships?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is what you hear all the time as people get older and older. They always say the most important thing is my family, is my friends, is the people that I love. I mean, that
Because
is
what happens
always,
when the work is done, when
yeah,
you retired or whatever, what is left?
right.
You can't identify with your work anymore. My dog is trying to seep
Your
in.
dog loves you. Your
Come.
dog is coming in.
So
So can I
yes,
ask you a question here that
yes, you
you
can.
always pull out some good questions, and one of your questions here, and I don't really know how I would answer this, so maybe you do, and it is because we're talking
Before
about
the
love.
questions, I know what you're gonna ask.
Which
Sorry.
one? I'm going to ask you, what is your love language?
Oh, my love language is um, touch and speech. So I need
Oh,
expression and I need physical touch. Like,
yes, yes,
yeah, like it's yeah,
yes, yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
simple touch,
Yes,
hug,
yes.
touch.
Yes,
Yeah,
I would agree with that. I would
yeah.
definitely agree with
You
that. Yes,
too?
yes, yes. Uh, touch, the verbal expression. But I'm going to go back to the feeling. I'm a very like I like to. You get in and you sense someone. You sense someone's wanting you to be there or not wanting you to be there.
Yeah.
I'm very in tune with that, and that makes a big difference to me.
So I think you come to the next thing I wanted to talk about, like what makes a relationship work, right? Um,
Are we talking a family relationship here? Or are we talking an intimate,
it's such an
partner?
interchangeable thing. Let's talk
Okay.
about the partner, right?
Okay.
But it could apply to family, I feel too.
Okay.
With family, this first one is, I think, easier. I think the first rule of any relationship to work is safety, right?
Absolutely. You have to trust.
Trust. So that's
Yes.
what I think you're even mentioning when you say, I feel that whether I'm wanted or not wanted, that's a safety issue.
Yes, yes. That's a very good point. Very good point. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, if I feel like if one person has anger or sarcastic issue, being sarcastic, it's hard to feel safe or express yourself authentically in front of that,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or if a person has constant negative or feel entitled to be negative, always looking for what's wrong, who wants to spend time with
I
that
know.
person,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or Another one is if one wants everything to be perfect all the time.
Yeah.
That could be me. That creates tension and anxiety too,
Yes, yes.
because it's unattainable,
Yeah.
right? So again, your consciousness, you know, really reflects in your experiences. But creating that safety and trust is, I think, the rule number one for any
Yeah,
relationship.
you're absolutely right. It's huge. And if you think about when, you hear people talk about a relationship that's not working, like maybe in the beginning, it's because they don't trust one another. And
Yes.
and I think maybe they're going off and doing this, and as you get into a relationship and you start to trust, you know, that you allow that partner or that partner goes way off and does whatever, and you completely have no qualms.
But here's the thing too. That trust is, again, doesn't come from the other person. If it was, then you were constantly testing, right?
Oh, yes, which is
See
not
if
good.
he's or she is or they are value of my trust, right? It's
Yeah,
not like that. You have to decide to trust.
yeah,
It comes
yes.
from you again.
Right. And again, you see that for me, took me a long time to have that faith to do
Yeah,
that.
same.
Yes. Yep. I mean, that's why I didn't get married till late, I think, because, I couldn't quite fully go
Same.
there. Yes.
Same, but if you look back, what I'm realizing for myself, I
Mhm.
did not have trust in relationships. And I realized because I didn't trust myself
Mhm.
in the relationship, that I
Mhm.
wasn't fully settled in the relationship. One foot was out the door.
Me too. Me too. Yes.
So, but the minute that you decide to trust, then that relationship is surviving,
Yeah.
right? Isn't that
Or
amazing?
I might have, but sometimes it's timing, and that's some because I think
Yeah,
sometimes I was in a relationship where I thought I was ready, but that other person's their foot was one way out the door, and I'm
yeah,
sort of thankful that it was because in hindsight it probably wouldn't have worked.
right.
So yeah,
So that's the first one, that's safety. And then the second one, I think, is for everybody in a relationship, self-care.
yeah,
We can't say this enough. If you don't do self-care and expect the other party to care only, it's a lot of responsibility on a
yeah.
person.
It is a lot. Yeah,
You're expecting them to understand you like fully at all times. And as we know, women especially,
yeah,
not easy to understand. Moment by moment, we are changing. That's the beauty of the feminine energy, right? We have
yeah,
this like fluidity. And
yes,
yeah, so we need to be in tune with ourselves and our needs first and give ourselves what we need first so that we can show up in a relationship.
right. And that all comes under the umbrella of self-knowledge, like knowing yourself. The more you know
But
yourself.
knowing yourself is a one step, but then doing something like a knowing and then applying, right?
Yes,
Like everything,
yes, yes. Good point. Yes, absolutely.
right?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
So that's the second one. Third one I came up with. These are all my stuff, by the way. Please don't take this as like, oh, rules,
Yeah, I
everybody
know, but
should say.
I love having lists, I
I
like
like the list
yes,
too. And
yes.
I just like, I've been thinking about this. These are my
I'm
list.
glad. Yes.
The third one is, I think, honesty equals intimacy.
Oh, yes.
If you are not
Oh, yes.
honest with yourself and the other party, then it's not an honest relationship. I mean, it's not. There's no intimacy,
Yeah, yeah. No, that's
right? Truthfulness.
truthfulness. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so for me, somehow that translates, I don't know why I feel this, but that leads to joy. Even if it's difficult or whatever, that leads to joy and ecstasy, right?
Intimacy,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Intimacy.
right?
Yeah.
Beautifully
Mhm.
expressed. Yes, agreed. The next
What's the
one to
next
me
one?
is boundaries.
Mm.
Every
Hmm.
relationship has to have boundaries,
Yeah,
in my opinion. Well, I'm a boundary person. I love it.
yeah.
But I just feel that boundaries mean self-respect.
So give me an example of what you mean by like in a
There's like
practical way.
it's I think boundaries are very, again, flexible and fluid,
Hmm.
and it depends on the situation, person. But the minute that you feel that you were stepped over, right? That's a boundary to me. The minute that you feel you were led to a direction without your consent,
I see. I
That's
see.
a boundary to me.
Yes. And it could be a small thing, a big thing, anything, when you don't feel as if it was a sort of joint decision and you were sort of
Yeah,
taken in a direction that you didn't want to go,
yeah,
right?
exactly. So having that space, allowing that space for each other. Um, the next one
That
is
noise. Do you hear that noise? No.
is it
Okay.
maybe my AC? It could be. It's very
Okay.
hot.
Okay. Okay.
Could be. So then there's integrity, which I think goes back to honesty a little bit, right?
Yes.
But
Yeah.
integrity also, again, like not just verbal, but with your actions, following up on what you said, right?
Yeah.
Integrity is really showing up for your
Yes.
partner. I mean, aside from doing stuff, but also really showing up for your partner.
Right. And I love all these. I know you probably have a few more, but I love this because I know you've numbered them one to whatever, but for everybody, these are fluid in the sense like your number four for you is could someone else's number one. I
Sure.
know it's not, yeah. So that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because depending on who we are, what we're looking for, yeah, integrity is very important. Absolutely. Because that leads to trust.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Hmm.
then the next one is for me repair.
Repair. What do you mean by
Because,
repair?
well, every relationship you're going to fight, you're going to argue. It's impossible for two people living in
Is
the
that
same
forgiving?
space.
Is forgiving part of that? What do you think?
Forgiving is part of that, but repair, there's a way to repair things, and it is very unique to everybody. But it has to be almost understood and discussed, or not even verbal, but there has to be that syncing with each other how you repair things, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Because you know if you don't repair quickly and you don't forgive quickly, that it builds.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So repairing is it's just coming back to you lose your center. We say this in yoga all the time. You fall out of a pose, you lose your connection, and then the key is not to be perfect, but the key is to how do I come back to my center? How do I repair what
Right.
I lost? Right?
Right.
That repair is to me really important, and you don't expect from each other, and it doesn't then get into the right wrong place, right?
Yes.
Because if you get into that right, I am right, who is wrong place,
Right.
that's not a repair.
Yeah.
Repair is bigger than being right or being wrong. It's about
Yeah.
commitment to having a relationship, I feel.
And it's funny that when you talk about that, I think there can be something like silent repair,
Yeah.
that because it's sort of a tacit agreement that, this was not the way we wanted to go, and now we're going to restart it. And you may not talk it through, but you both know you want to start again, you know?
And you may both have very different styles. My repair style is again communication. I need to talk it through, right? My partner's repair style is not communication, it's avoidance.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he will joke about it and he will make the mood lighter.
Yes.
And that is his way of repairing it, right?
Right.
So
Right.
also like giving space to each other's style and not to like, no, this is how I want it to be. Just again, that's a boundary too, a little bit of like you're not forcing someone to be somebody else,
Right.
but you're also understanding them enough that you are in agreement.
Right. Well, that's why it's so important, this communication in any way that you can do it, because so many problems exist when you just think someone else's reaction, you interpret it a certain way, because in your experience, that reaction is a very negative one. For that person, maybe that's the way their family always communicated, and it's not so negative. So you have to really stop and try to understand
Yeah,
how that person communicates,
yeah,
and
that's
that's
it.
not just, and even in your own family, people communicate differently because they had different roles within the family. So you have to start to respect that as well and understand.
And you just put exactly what I wanted to come next, to move yourself out of the center. Go
Yes,
be in somebody else's world.
yes,
Understand them.
yes. Empathy. Yes,
Empathy. Yeah.
yes,
And the last one is for me is service. Having a
yes,
service attitude. And Kate, you are like a queen of that. You understand that so well. And I know that because I see that in your friendships, like, how you are so service or how you are so giving. But I think in any relationship, the service attitude has to come. I'm serving this
Yeah.
person wholeheartedly with my love and generosity and compassion and empathy and, support and all of that, right? And
Yeah.
again, it comes from you without expecting something in
In
return.
return. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot. That's a long list, Bashak.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
one last thing I would say about this, and then we are almost at the end actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know. One last thing I would say is, again, I read that this quote somewhere. I don't know where. Again, these are all like what I do is years and years of like reading,
And
seeing,
collecting
whatever,
quotes.
collecting and writing
Yeah.
somewhere. I always do that. All my life I am making notes. It said, "Things you love, you touch gently."
Things you love, you touch gently.
So being
Oh,
gentle in your
yes.
relationships with yourself.
Oh,
That's your, again, most important relationship and with
yeah.
others.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I feel like I have a little map here of things that I need to go through and just, seriously, and just,
Daily. We have to practice daily.
I know, minute by minute. It's crazy.
Because
But
don't forget, we are also forgetful.
you're forgetful. And also I may emphasize one of the points that you think and sort of forgetting about another point. And maybe I need to go and say, oh, I need to sort of resurrect that
I
element.
think it's just when we talk about things in that way, again, this is my love language, right?
Mhm.
When we talk about things and really point out things, then it, even though we are forgetful, I think there is a part of us that heard it, hopefully.
Yeah.
And it comes up naturally in
Yeah.
situations. Only it comes up when everything is going well. You don't think about these things,
Right.
right?
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I hope it helps.
It does. But I just want to say you make me laugh because I know anyone with a long time partner, you're talking away and you're telling something very important and then there's no response. And I'm always like, did you hear me? Did you just
Nope,
hear what I said?
nope.
And then a few seconds later, huh? What? The tune's
Exactly.
out.
Convenient listening, we say,
Convenient.
selective listening. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So yeah, that's it from me. Is there anything else you want to add, Kate?
Um, let's see. Do you want me to ask you one of these questions? One
Of
more?
course, of
Yes.
course,
Okay.
yeah.
So, um, how about this one? What is your mantra you keep telling about your role in your relationship? Let's talk about your partner relationship.
Oof, this is
Yeah.
an interesting one
Yeah.
because I feel the roles again are not rigid roles, right? They are interchangeable and flexible, and that's why people call relationships are a dance,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
You're constantly leading, being led, allowing, but I am generally someone who is a leader.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just my nature. All my life I've been that, and I think it shows up in my relationship too a lot.
Yes.
But I try to not to do this in a not allowing space way. But I do, I try to be gentle, as
Yeah.
again in my being a leader, in leading, in terms of new ideas, new paths, you know, all of that. I think I just tend to be a little bit more that. But when I do too much leading, I also learn to pull back
That's what I
and
was going to
allow
ask you.
space.
You do sometimes do you sometimes know that you have to step back. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I've learned.
And isn't that the same in your family relationship, would you say?
Oh, I gave that up long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, my family has a lot of leaders.
Ah, that's
So
interesting.
we even joke about that now. Now it's very light conversation. My
That's
sister and I
great.
were talking the other day, and you know, her husband is a very much of a leader quality. My niece is a leader quality. I am leader. My mom, ultimate leader. So and she was laughing about it because there was something that everybody was putting their 2 cents in an idea, and she's like, "There's too many leaders in this house." So I think to your point, you said that before. The best way to deal with these situations, I think, is laughter.
100%. 100%.
Joyous
Yes.
attitude, right?
Yes, yes, yeah. But I just had this picture of your family, all sort of standing in a circle and saying, "Okay, so we're all going to go the same way, right?" And then you all go off in different ways,
Yes.
right?
And we don't like to be told which way to go.
Yeah, exactly.
This is funny because, Jonathan always
That's
tells me that
your partner.
if I ever, my partner, if I ever ask him a question, he says, "You're only asking the question so that you can negate my answer because I will never follow his direction." I will actually go and do the exact opposite. But my answer to that is that, but you're eliminating some of the directions that I don't want to do. It's a good way. I need to also be aware of that. No, I think again, everything is about being joyous and just giving each other space to
Yeah,
express freely without having this. This is the safety part, right? Having this, oh my God, if I say this, I'm not going to be safe in this relationship. I'm not going to be accepted, loved, or I'm going to be rejected.
right, right.
And that's to me so important to be freely self-expressed,
Yeah,
and that's what I have in my relationship, and I really
yeah,
admire him for that.
yes.
That he does give me space, and I don't always. I'm not as welcoming as he is in that concern.
Oh, really?
Yes,
I think you probably are more than you think you are. Maybe it's because you struggle with it in your mind, you know?
yes, I do struggle with it in my
Yes,
mind.
but you do give him space. I mean, I know you do,
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, true. I've heard that from few people too. Yeah,
yeah,
actually,
yeah,
maybe. Yeah, but I think it can always be better.
yeah. Well, we all can always be better, right?
Right.
We just keep on trying, keep
We
on
are.
keeping
This is
on.
practice ground, and we are not looking for perfection.
Nope. I think we should change the name of this podcast, just call it Practice. We're practicing,
Practicing
practicing, practice.
relationships, right?
Yeah,
Practicing relationships, something
yeah,
like that.
yeah. All
Beautiful.
right.
Well, there's so much more we can talk, but it's our time.
Yes, it's our time. And thank you
And
for all those. We should list those all those elements that you said in our.
yeah,
We will do
okay.
that, okay? Because I think they're wonderful for people to take a look at. So thank
Thank
you
you.
all for
Thank you
listening,
so much, Kate. Thank you
and
for listening,
thank
everyone.
you. Yes, and good luck, everybody, in your relationships.
Yes. Be gentle.
Be gentle, be kind, be
Yes.
full of love, be full of joy.
Bye,
Till next
everyone.
time. Bye.